Imagine you put your headphones on and then it just starts working.
I just feel like I should have these. I'm like, anyway.
Oh, that sounds good. What is that? Where'd you get that Price is Right microphone? Like you're on the Family Feud.
It was $10. My mic
the price is
work.
wrong.
Price is wrong, bitch.
Please take your seats. School is now in session.
Welcome to Homeschooled Podcast.
Homeschooled.
The Homeschooled Podcast. Why? Because he was homeschooled.
It's time to document the journey.
Welcome back to Homeschooled Podcast. I'm your host, Agostino Zoida. We're going to try to do this episode, although we keep getting interrupted, because we're dropping truth bombs and Spectrum's getting mad. So that's why. We literally haven't said anything that crazy yet.
I just don't understand how it's like 2022 and this is still what we deal with. But like we could have a Holocaust. I mean, a hologram Tupac at Coach at a Holocaust. That was crazy. Probably because
we're getting pretty.
I'll go back to that thought why the Holocaust is on my brain today. But we had a hologram Tupac like years ago. But like still, our internet sucks. It just doesn't make sense to me.
It is crazy. Like upstairs in my house, I'm able to just stream television, no problem, using internet. But like I take a laptop downstairs and it's like, you got 2 bars, dude. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. It really is insane.
Yeah, I just feel like this whole thing about bars. I don't know. I feel like internet should just be a thing, like everywhere that you like. I feel like we're there, especially in large cities. Like Santa Monica has public internet. Do you know that?
Yeah. Like you could just connect to like wherever you are. Like when you're at the airport, you just get that pop up. Like there's internet here, connect to it. I mean, I'm sure they're probably spying on you when you connect to free Wi-Fi, but they're gonna spy on you anyway. I mean, that's always going on.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
But yeah, back to the Holocaust. Cause I gotta I woke up to a text this morning. It was crazy. My friend was just like, yo, I'm afraid Kanye's gonna be the next Hitler. And I was like, dude, this fucked my day up. Like it was just a random thought, and I was like, damn. But then I'm like going through my day, and I'm like, bro, what? Like, imagine if Hitler was a rapper. Like, that's great. And he also made music that you liked. Like, this is crazy.
Well, Hitler was an artist, right? Hitler was like a painter. Like he was like a really good painter, actually.
Really? He was good?
I don't know if he had like the following that Kanye had. Although,
what if I just had like a Hitler painting in my house and like people were like, that's really
like a
nice.
what?
What if I had a Hitler painting in my house and like no one knew?
I mean, you got Black Jesus.
That's
what if that Black Jesus
behind
behind you was Hitler painted it? That would be crazy.
I feel like there's Jesus and then there's white Jesus. You know?
Mm-hmm. No.
Like that is Jesus. Only like, bro, it's just crazy. Like the Christians like no, he was the only white man in Jerusalem 2,000 years ago. What? He looked more like that in my mind. I just actually like that. You want to know what's crazy about that? I didn't know if it was a joke or for real when I bought it. Like, and I still don't know. My Christian friend is like, no, that's for real. It was $5 at like a Goodwill, and I was just like, I think this is funny, and so I got it. But like, people are like,
that's a score, man. $5.
Yeah. It's huge.
I mean, by the way, if I start talking over you, it's not because I can hear you and I'm talking over you. It's because I can't hear you and I don't want it to be silent, so I just start talking.
Oh, sick.
Okay. So, before we dive into it, what I wanted to talk about today, let me just really quickly say that you guys can see me live. You can see us both live, actually. This weekend, Saturday, will be in Vancouver, Washington. So that's the USA, not Canada. I've had some of my Canadian people hit me up and be like, yo, you're coming back to Vancouver? I was like, yeah, but not that side. Vancouver, Washington, this Saturday. It's October 29th, right? Yeah. October 29th, 7 o'clock show. You guys can get tickets at homesschooledpod.com or augustinocomedian.com. Click on tour. And then after that, I will be headed to Memphis, Tennessee, and that's December 3rd. And then I'm closing the year out for New Year's weekend. I'm doing Phoenix, Arizona. And that's it. This is my last tour dates of the year. That's all you have left. You got Vancouver, Washington, Memphis, and Phoenix, Arizona. So hopefully you guys can make it to one of those. Again, augustinocomedian.com. Click on tour. So let me officially welcome my guest. Abreah Griffin is here today. She is a friend of mine, a comedian, and a work hard sensei. Let's just say that. Hell yeah. So what I wanted to talk about today, this has been on my mind for 2 weeks, but I haven't been able to really talk about it on here, is I think the importance of getting on stage. So something that I've noticed the last couple of weeks is no matter how long I've been doing it, this February will be 14 years that I've been doing stand-up. And regardless of how long I've been doing it, and it pretty much just comes back to you riding a bike as soon as you jump back up on stage. But regardless of all of that, just the nerves are so intense if you don't go on stage for so long. And then when you go up there, those nerves never go away. They just don't. And the only way to make them go away is to consistently be on stage. If you're just up every day, you're not going to be nervous anymore. Or if you're up a couple times a week, you're really going to reduce it. And if you go up there with a game plan, your set list, I'm going to hit this, I'm going to hit this, I'm going to hit this, and you have that in your back pocket, and it's totally fine to be in the moment. And if you go off script for a minute, just be in the room, that's totally fine. But when you have that set list in your back pocket, and it makes you calmer, it makes you more relaxed, less nervous. And I'm not counting the open mics that you and I have done a lot the last couple of weeks. I don't ever count that. But I'm counting shows where I haven't been up in a couple of weeks, or I know I'm going to do something new. That's when nerves are the highest.
Yep.
And I think that's a good thing, especially doing new jokes. Doing new jokes, I think that it's exciting that I still get nervous over a new joke. And then when I see if it worked or it didn't, I'm still, after 14 years, I'm still excited about it. But it's when you have a giant break, because I'll go on the road a lot. And then when I come back, I'm not really doing stand up that much here in LA. I just here and there, people book me. And then when I'm off the road, I'm tired, and I'm trying to stay in and not get sick and stuff in case I have to go back out again and they make me test. So things like that just make me, kind of stay in a little bit. But then when I go out and I do a show, I just God, I hate that I take such long breaks, especially LA. LA is a completely different beast than doing a road show. Have you done stage anywhere else other than Los Angeles? Sorry, what was the answer?
Torrance.
I still think that's LA County though, right?
Yeah, it is. No, only in LA. Yeah, only in LA. So this would be fun.
It feels like you're a showman. There's a lot of showmanship in it. There's, you're getting on a plane to go do shows, you're staying in a hotel, but not only that, it's people that come out are there for a special event. They're there for something special. And, you're there to give them the best show. And I don't know what it is about LA. It's just all these rooms that are just randomly doing comedy, and they're throwing 20 comics up all in one night, and everybody does 5 minutes, and it's just boom, boom, boom. Let's get as many comics up as we possibly can, and let's all go up as much as we can, and try as much new jokes as we can. And it just doesn't feel as special.
Yeah, I do think more time.
I'm pretty sure you're frozen. I don't say anything.
Damn, still frozen?
You're good. You're back. You're back.
All right, cool. I think more time is easier. Like 5 minutes is hard to do, because it's like so
Yes.
rushed. Like you have time to kind of like be more like be present, be in the moment, like feel the crowd. Like I'm a big like energy person. And also like I was thinking about this earlier, like I'm thinking like, all right, not to like shit on Vancouver or anything, but like LA is a really big city, right? So like I feel like people, there's also a fucking bug flying around in here. Oh well. I feel like, people like looking at, the flyer for our show, like, oh, like two comedians like from LA. Like it seems like a big deal, but I don't feel like a big deal when I'm in LA, right? But whenever I do travel, like I don't know, maybe this is like a joke or something, but like I feel people from my hometown, which I'm from Denver, are always like, I knew you'd be somebody. And I'm like nobody, right? But like they're like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I feel like there's that aspect too. Like traveling to a smaller town, like I feel like a bigger fish, but I feel super small here in LA.
Damn, you froze again. I'm just gonna say that I 100% agree with you. I think that you're absolutely right. And first of all, like you're not nobody. Like you know what I mean. You're definitely not nobody. But yes, I understand where you're coming from. People in other towns. It's not that Denver's even that small of a city, but LA is a big city, and it is where people go to follow their dreams. It has that stigma about it, and also in the stand-up comedy world or entertainment in general, it's like this is where you go and this is where you grind, and then the best product comes out of here. So in their eyes, you are somebody. And it shouldn't only be in their eyes. You really are somebody. Like you really are. You're not nobody. Like do you understand that like people talk about moving to LA and following their dreams their whole lives and they'll never do it. The fact that you actually did it, you're already on the right path. Like you're already doing 100 times more than what anybody else would do. And that alone is like making it. I mean, also, you're frozen, so I don't know if you're talking right now. So I hope you don't think I'm interrupting you or talking too much. But where were we?
Phone dies mid-conversation. You were saying how basically this is my next thought was that if you can pay your rent, you made it in LA.
That's not wrong. That isn't wrong.
It's true. Like that is making it, if you could like actually live here with gas, groceries, rent, you're making it.
But what about paying your rent with something that you want to do?
Yeah, true. Yeah, I've been doing that for a while now, and that's so much freedom. And yeah, I don't know if I'd be able to do that anywhere else. I wouldn't.
Why do you say that?
Well, maybe. I don't know, because I feel like I remember like, I moved out here when I was really young, like 19, 20, but I remember living in Denver and like telling people I played in a band. And we came out here, we had to deal with Warner, blah, blah, blah. That's why I came out here initially. It's like something a little more, something creative. But I've always acted and done comedy and dance and I've done everything. But like I remember like being in Colorado and like telling people like, like what do you want to do for a career? I'd be like, I want to be an artist and musician. And they'd be like, that's not a job, like that's not like they don't take it as an actual job. Like here in LA, people like respect it and like that's a legit thing. But like back home, it's not. Or at least it wasn't, 10 years ago. Sounds so fucking
You don't
old.
think you could? No, I mean, I'm sure that exists, and you're probably right. It probably exists less in LA, although there are people here that don't think that that's a job. But it's more accepted here because people that know this town know, like, fuck yeah, it is. You can actually make a pretty damn good living doing that, and for decades it's been proven that. But you still like, see, I'm from LA, and like I was born and raised here, so when you tell your family that you want to be a comedian, you'll get the same response. that's not a job,
Yeah.
and that's just because they're your family.
Yeah.
And they're worried about you. But you're right, as the people, friends, or just general people around you, like they're very supportive and they'll acknowledge that this is a job.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, we pay our rent. Like I pay my rent from being a stand-up comedian. Like I've taken vacations from being a stand-up comedian. Like, you know what I mean? I
That's
bought a car.
from literally just having a conversation with yourself on stage in front of people. Like you do anyway. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
I don't know if those are the ones that are paying that well, but yeah. But it is a hustle. It's a nonstop hard work grind. And that sounds like I'm saying like we made it, and in some sense we have. But it also sounds like I'm saying like, yo, I'm rich. No, I'm not. Like I'm not. It just, if I stopped working for 1 week, I'd lose it all. Like,
Right.
like it would be gone that quick.
Right. But it's like, would you rather do something you hate or do something that you like to do?
Yeah. And
So-
for a while, you can do both. You're gonna have to do both for a while, and that's totally fine. Like if you've got a job that you absolutely hate and it just pays the bills, but it allows you to have the freedom to follow your dreams, you've also made it. Regardless of money, like you want to be a comic and you get on stage and you actually do shows, real shows, like not mics, shows. You're like, dude, you're living the dream, man.
Yeah.
You fucking got it. Like what more could you ask for? You didn't say I want to be a rich comic. You just said I want to be a comic.
No, yeah. We're preaching, but do what you love and the money follows. It's like very true. Cause like what else are you gonna do? Like but also like no, I've done both, right? Where I've had the crappy job that paid the bills, and then I did what I loved on the side. And then one day, it was actually right before the pandemic, and then the pandemic kind of like helped me out. But I was like, what if I just cut the crappy job? And then I'm like, you know why? Because it was taking away time. Like, and I think a lot of people in LA like have this thing, or not even in LA, but like if people are doing this, like it starts to like I'm comfortable because my bills are paid, and so but I'm also tired, so I'm not working on the thing that I love. So I made a decision to just like I'm gonna cut it to where I have to do this in order to eat. You know what I mean? Like I have to do, and that like changes the game.
To not be comfortable.
Yeah, when you have to do the thing that like when there's no other option, like even like with work hard, like I made it to where work hard has to be successful or else I can't pay rent. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing.
Correct.
But it's awesome because I'd rather bust my ass working for myself than anybody else.
Don't lose that train of thought really quickly. Tell everybody what work hard is, because I don't just
for
people listening.
Is a fitness boot camp in Sherman Oaks. It's a lot of fun. It's now that I say a lot, I think of you. It's like the biggest word in my vocabulary. It's like and fuck. But anyway, Work Hard is a fitness boot camp in Sherman Oaks. It runs for 6 weeks on, 2 weeks off for the whole year. It's a HIIT camp, so high intensity interval training. It's a HIIT class. It's an hour. It's a lot of fun. It's outside.
That you started.
Yeah, that I started.
That's another thing you couldn't do outside in another state.
Right, exactly. Yeah, hell no.
Like, yo, in Denver, we're gonna work out outside in January.
Right. Yeah, no. And it started outside because it started in 2020. So it started when gyms were closed. And then a lot of, even restaurants like still kept their tables in the parking lot for some reason. Like for some reason I've stayed there, but it's worked, And it's just like I've thought about doing it in a gym, and why? Yeah. When we have fresh air, it's just a vibe, and like I didn't realize how much COVID taught me that, like how much like I need to be outdoors,
But we live in a great place where it's, like 10 months, it's a great time to be outside.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it might get cold because we're starting our winter one soon, and it's really early in the morning, and it's going to be a little cold, but it could be worse. It could be way colder. And like, why not do it outside? I think that's why a lot of restaurants kept their outdoor patios that they created, that they like invented in a parking lot. First of all, because I think they dumped so much money into it. Like they had to order tables and those like those things that look like they're like fake plants. They create like a green wall.
Dude,
Like
no,
everyone surrounds their patio with those. Those are so expensive.
they're just lazy, and we're so traumatized that, like, imagine if you did make the decision to move everything inside, and then all of a sudden, like, COVID's like fifth brother shows up, you know?
There's that too. Yeah, and then they're gonna have to like move it all back, and then so what were they doing with it? They keep it in storage. It's just, yeah, we live in a place where it's nice outside most of the time, and you could go out at night and at most you'll be a little chilly. Like you can wear like a spring jacket and you'll be fine.
But
And it's
also,
just so nice to sleep
I
in.
feel like it's like the new normal. Back on that thought, like, I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, but when does the city, because you know how fucked up LA is as a city though. So like when does the city start taxing them on the extra space now? Because they're paying rent for a smaller real estate, but they actually have real estate for an extra 20 people.
Dude,
that could be.
look up. How about this? On my road, they still have an entire lane of traffic closed, and that's where people are sitting eating their sandwiches. Like,
I know.
in the lane, like you step off the curb and there's like a table like with salt and
You're
pepper,
just
like
in the street with salt and pepper and a happy hour flyer.
yeah, like what are you guys doing? In what world?
I remember during the pandemic when they would just put us in the street without a barrier block, and there's just buses going by, and I'm like, how is this safer?
Pixar almost got hit by a car
Who
because
did?
Pixar because
Oh, your dog?
I was at a restaurant and I had her like tied up to the table, but like she got through that barrier and the street is right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like they like slammed on it. I'm like, what is that? Like, oh, it was terrifying.
So not safe. But yeah, so okay, so they go back, you started work hard, and so you had like a day job before that?
I was working at a studio teaching classes. That's a whole I have stories for days, dude.
Was that the job that made you so tired that you said that I'm gonna let this go? It's a safety net.
Yeah. Also, they were complete psychopaths.
Mm.
So, and you get that a lot when you work for gyms, right? Like, the fitness industry is not like the hotbed for mental health for some reason. Like, I don't know why.
God, you wouldn't think that. I wonder why.
I don't know. That's really messed up to say, but I think that there's a lot of gyms that are like super like macho. You just got to be careful, and they were one of those gyms. Man, this is bad. Whatever.
Oh, we don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. I was just asking, is that the job that you quit to go full time working for yourself?
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I was asking.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit, you want to talk about that? So.
Want to talk about? No, it's whatever. Yeah, I quit. I was working at a studio at the time, and yeah, like I was just like, I could do this, you know. I could do this. And I think I was bartending as well. I was just burning the candle at both ends, like teaching a 6 a.m. class. Also, like some nights I tried not to overlap them, but some nights I was working 2 shifts, right? Like sleeping during the day because I had to bartend at night and then be up at 6 a.m. to teach yoga. It was crazy. And then on the off nights, you know, I'm always going to open mics. Like I remember I would do like an 11 o'clock open mic, and then have to be up at 4:45. You know, like my life was just crazy. And so I don't know, like I was like, something's got to change. And I figured, you know, I could make my own schedule. If I'm going to do it, if I'm going to work this hard, I should be working for myself. And it's what I always wanted to do. I don't know. Something clicked where it was like, just go for it, you know?
I'm all too familiar with that schedule that you described.
Yeah.
I've done it for a long time, and you're like so exhausted, you're burning the candle from both ends, but your bills are paid. But I I always think of like, I don't know, maybe it's a weird analogy, but I always think of that movie, The Dark Knight Rises. You know, the third one? You ever seen the third one?
Not like you.
Okay, so you've seen it like once.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so do you kind of remember at all that there was this prison that was like a hole in the wall that they were telling like the legend of Bane, and like he's the only one that ever escaped it?
Yeah.
And like, so Bruce Wayne is down there and he's like trying to get like healthier to try to climb out, and then they use a rope, they tie a rope around you and you make the jump, and then if you fall the rope catches you, right?
Yeah.
So every day he's training for this, and then like the old guy in the prison, he's like, how did the child's supposed to be Bane, but he's like, how did the child do it? Like, how am I a full grown like in shape man and I can't do it? And he said the child did it without a rope. So like mentally, you were taking the jump and telling yourself, like, just in case I don't make it, this rope's gonna catch me. And so as soon as Bruce took away the rope, he jumped, and his instinct was fear. And the fear was, if I don't make it, I'm falling and I'm gonna like die or break a bone or something like that. So
you make it.
That's what makes you make it.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes, I mean, you have to have a good intuition about this. I'm not telling everybody they should go quit their job tomorrow. I don't have kids. It's easy for me to say. Like, if you have like a whole family counting on you, yo, like, don't just go quit your job tomorrow. Like, you gotta have common sense about this. But I do think that sometimes you can use this in many things in life, that you just gotta jump without the safety net.
Yeah.
And you'll go higher.
Yep. There's also this, now we're getting super spiritual, but there's this story about how I heard this guy tell it, like he was watching this like National Geographic, like, and it was in India, how they were training elephants. And so when you train a baby elephant, you tie a rope around his foot and you tie it to a tree. And so the elephant will like try and like pull, but you know, he's too small. He can't like pull the tree out of the ground. But as the elephant gets older, when they want to just like keep an elephant somewhere, they will tie a rope around a leg, a big elephant, right? Adult elephant, tie the same rope around the elephant's leg and stick a stake into the ground. And once he feels it get just a little bit tight, he'll stop pulling. Even though he's an adult elephant that can pull us out of the ground, but it's just in his mind, right?
Mentally, he thinks he can't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, from his childhood. It's such a crazy one. So like then he goes on to talk about how like how many of these old ideas do we have in our brain, you know, of like, I can't do this because of this.
I do. And that could be a lot of things in your life. Like, we're talking about jobs, like things where you work really hard to make someone else a lot of money and you're exhausted but comfortable. But maybe it's a lot of different things for other people. Maybe it's a relationship, why you haven't left yet, or why you haven't moved on. Like, it could probably be a lot of things, but it's whether it's your job, relationship, it's a stake in the ground that's probably like you could just move it. Like, you've been trained your whole life to think that you can't move it. You probably just could.
Yeah.
Like, I think that
long told you that like you couldn't do that because, you know, you didn't go to school for it or something. So then even though it's like one of your deepest desires, you don't pursue it because someone told you. Like, you're still hanging on to that old thing, you know? And you already made up your mind. It's just, it's super deep. But yeah.
Well, to go even deeper, and I don't even know, like, you're gonna kick me out of your work art class, because there's probably a lot you don't know about me. So I won't say that I don't believe the universe. I absolutely believe in the universe. It's
Yeah.
just I'm trying really hard to not say that I'm not sure about Earth as being this ball. Unless right, I'm just saying I don't know if it's like we are where we are. And I don't know the answer. I'm not saying like, oh, I think it's this, so like arguing with people. I'm saying I don't know the answer. And I don't think you do either. You know what I mean? Like that's all I'm saying. But where I'm going with this is that I just think that the universe is so much bigger. Because if you ever talk to a conspiracy theorist or anybody who's a flat earther or anybody who doesn't believe this, and that, they're like, nobody asked them the question like, why though? Like I understand you think you're being lied to, and you probably are. But why would they lie to you about that particular thing? Well, how would they benefit from it? And for me, I think that it's benefited because they don't want us to know how big and powerful we actually are. Because I think they want us to feel that would be my reason. As I think that if we feel small or trapped, then it gives them more power. Like we're supposed to be wake up, go to work, die.
You're talking about like
wake up.
Like society,
I'm talking about like people, the powers that be that probably run the world. And for me, I think it's insane that we are taught this phrase that says "sky's the limit," and it's said as a positive thing, which is insane to me. Like sky's the limit. Like it's literally telling you that the world has limitations for you.
Yeah.
And we're saying that like it's a motivation. It's not motivation. Like
who
said sky's the limit? Maybe there's beyond.
My bad. I think sky's the limit is a dead phrase. Also, Kanye West just talked about this, I'm pretty sure.
Did he? Oh fuck, we're canceled.
Totally calling you out. But no. But it's totally a dead phrase, I think. Because and really, yes, the truth is that no one knows anything ever. We have no idea why we're here, nothing. But I don't think a lot of people claim to know. And if they do, then they're crazy. Because how could you know anything?
Well, people are so adamant about like what they read in a book wants to be truth. And they get so mad if you question it. And I'm not saying it isn't true, it might be.
Another human being?
Wait, say it again. It offered for a second. Say it again.
It's like where did the truth come from? Another human being?
Exactly. It came like someone wrote that book. Like whatever history book you're reading, someone wrote it so that we would think history is that way. And then people go like, yo, trust the science. But like science was written by another human and they could have, it's like, yo, but this equals this. It's like, but you like wrote that. If I have a child and I like show them this curtain every day and say, this is purple. Like they're going to think this is the color purple until they go to school one day. And some kid's going to be like, that's red. What are you talking about? They're like, they're going to get mad. Like, no, my dad said it was purple. Like you can basically, if you got someone early on, you can convince them to think left is right and right is left and up is down and down is up. Like, anyway, this podcast went off on a tangent, but I think that what I was trying to say is just that I think that we are constantly battling our own demons, but there's other demons that just want us to feel smaller than we actually are. And you have to, just do your job. Just wake up, do your job, have kids, constantly be tired, and, have kids so you can like never have a day off of work to actually enjoy them and always have to like feed them. And you know what I mean? And just like, I don't think that life was meant to be lived that way. And I'm not saying that it's wrong to be a hard worker and work hard and have a regular job. That's fucking great and commendable. But that's not what I'm saying. Again, I'm not saying like go quit your job, but I am saying I think that there's more to life. I don't think that you should have your job define you on who you are as a human being. And I've had the same schedule as you, like up till 2:00 in the morning, 4:00 in the morning, closing down the comedy club, and then up again in a job. I've been at like sold out theaters, ran to a job afterward, went from people wanting to take pictures with me, driving to a job where they're like, in the bathroom. like people don't understand that that's LA. That's LA. You'll have both those jobs at the same time. People can't comprehend, like, how does that person want to take your picture and then this person's telling you to go clean the bathroom? It's a big city, and there really are like that many jobs here, and you can have them all. That's what it constantly is that grind. And so I don't think that there's anything to be ashamed of to have jobs like that. But I'm never going to, and I never have let it control my dreams. Like, I've never been the guy like, yo, I'm tired. I just got off like a 12-hour shift. I don't think I'm going to go out tonight and do that spot. Like, it's never happened.
No.
I'm going to go do the show.
I'm happy and grateful. Like, at that time, I was happy and grateful to be doing my regular ass job. You know, like, because it is part of the dream. You know, it's not what I thought it would look like. Like, as a kid, I thought, oh man, I'm on this magazine cover. I just performed at the Comedy Store. I'm in a Reebok commercial. Wow, I must have $1 million. But fast forward 2022, like, no, everyone content. Like, it's, you know, I've had some success in comedy, but it doesn't mean like, no, it just isn't what it looks like. You know, it's not what I thought.
If you had one Reebok commercial in the year like 2005, you probably would make like 40 grand and then like have residuals constantly coming in from it. It just doesn't work that way anymore in Hollywood.
No anymore, because of social media and just like all this, you know, we need content every seconds.
You get paid like $1 grand to do stuff, and then they make you sign something saying you won't get residuals.
Exactly. And people think it's like the agent, but it's not. It's not. Everyone's getting that rate, which is so crazy. But at the same time, like, I'm grateful because if you took me in my life, you know, when I was 12 and you dropped me in my life now, I'd be like, this is sick. You know, like, I'm doing it. You know,
and you also probably wouldn't have been able to handle it, right? But now you can.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't be able to handle your life right now if you were the other person that you used to be. And now you can't. Yeah, just like your joke about giving homeless people a house. You know, they're going to lose that shit. I think that is so good, and you need to keep working on it. I don't give a fuck what anybody else says. It's true. It's true. Like, if you give them a fucking 1-bedroom condo, they're going to trade that shit in a second.
Yeah. If they could pawn it at a pawn shop, they would, you know?
Right. They'll burn it down. Like, they're going to invite over a bunch of people. It's going to become a meth lab, and they're going to burn it down.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh man, it's true.
It'll be exactly what it is outside for them. A house is.
But anyway, it's after 7:30. You have another meeting.
I do. Yeah. I mean, I could be late to it, but.
So we'll wrap this up then. I'm glad that we were able to do this. I think that we did, in a very short period of time, hit some shit, man. And I'm glad that we did. And I'm sorry about the
funny.
I'll edit this together. Yeah. The first half is funny. And then I'll edit this together and we'll try to get out some of the buffering. But the second half, I'm glad that you called back. And it's so funny. You just appeared back. Like, what if I was talking mad shit? Like, yo, this bitch.
Well, if it would have appeared, like, when I was trying to log on, I was like, fuck, I hate myself. This is fucking trash. Stupid internet. Goddamn Wi-Fi. Like, I was like going off. I was hoping it was just going to like pop up while I was yelling at myself.
Yeah, Wi-Fi let us down today. But anyway, this went good, and thank you for being on the show today. I'm excited to work with you this weekend. We're gonna have fun. Ticket sales picked up a tiny bit, so we have like a room of people to perform for us, so that's great. And I would love for there to be even more and even sell out. So guys, go to homeschoolpod.com or AugostinoComedy.com tour, and you can see me and Abreah this weekend in Vancouver, Washington. It's Saturday, October 29th. It's a 7:00 show. Come through around 6, get your drinks and all that shit, order your food, and then we'll do the show, and we'll have you home in a decent time. It's only like a 90-minute show, so you can still hit some Halloween parties after.
Yeah.
And that's
Vancouver, Washington.
And yeah, Vancouver, Washington. We'll see you guys there. And then if not, I actually do have a couple of LA shows, so follow me on social media. I don't really plug the LA shows that much because they don't fucking pay, but But I actually do have some decent paid gigs here in LA, so make sure you follow me on social media. The day before Thanksgiving, I have a show in Hollywood that should be pretty fun. And then Memphis, Tennessee, December 3rd. New Year's Eve weekend, I'm doing Phoenix, Arizona at the House of Comedy. That comedy club is like one of my favorites in the country to do, so super pumped for that. And I hope to see you guys at one of those. Abreah, you guys can follow her. What's your Instagram handle?
Abreah, Reahh.
2 H's at the end. And then
Yep.
you can follow the Work Hard social media.
Yeah, it's in my bio too. It's WRKHRD.LA. Work hard, no vowels. Work hard. And then I also have a show coming up at the Comedy Store Belly Room, November 17th for Funny Girls.
Nice. There you go, guys. Follow her, keep in touch, and also if you live in the area that we do, Sherman Oaks area, if you're thinking about taking the Work Hard class, I've been in it for. I've done like 3 times already, right? 2 or 3.
Yeah, I think so.
This might be 3 or 4, I forget. But anyway, the winter one.
50. It's amazing.
Starts up on November 7th. So
yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll see you at Burbank Airport in a couple of days.
Cool, man. Thanks for having me.
All right. See you later. Peace.
Bye.
Homeschooled Podcast. Homeschool.
The Homeschooled Podcast. Why? Because he was homeschooled.
I don't want to do that.
Okay.
I don't want to do that at all.